Consistency is like so important. It just seems like no one is consistent these days.
That consistency of communicating every day, that is girlfriend treatment.
My type has completely changed.
What was your type before? What is it now?
I wouldn't even say bad boy, but I would say with not much ambition.
Let's say the next guy you dated, he was that kind of guy. Would you submit to his decisions?
100%, 1,000,000,000%.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you're gonna, do that, and you're asking me, cool.
Yo guys, welcome back to another episode on my channel. I'm sitting in this spot, which means I've got a great conversation lined up for you today. You know, on this channel, we love to talk about all things dating, relationships, and seeing what we can do to attract the kind of person and relationship we want. So without further ado, please welcome Kaye to the show. Kaye, welcome.
Thank you. Oh, it's been a long time coming and I'm finally here.
I know, long time coming. It's been a few months, but we've made it. The stars have aligned, and she's come out in her summer wear because we're feeling seasonal. So yeah, let's get into it, man. So I always love to jump straight in. Yeah. So first, tell us your age or your age range, right? Yeah. Asking a lady her age, and one thing a guy should know about you if he wanted to take you on a date.
So I'm in my mid-30s.
Okay.
And I guess the main thing would be take me on a date, good manners, so like gentleman vibes, but also good banter.
Okay.
I think if you could be a gentleman and have banter, then yeah, winning.
Getting that balance. Have you always looked for that in a man, or do you think that's kind of come over time? Your taste has slightly adjusted to that.
I think the gentleman thing wasn't as a big deal before, but now it really is.
Okay, why do you think that's changed over time?
I guess because maybe I haven't been with many, or a few. But I think as you get older, you do kind of want a bit more of a gentleman person to be around you. You don't necessarily want like a bad boy or.
Sure.
Or it might not seem it might seem cool then to be that, but as you get older, you don't care about that. You just want family values and things like that,
like more traditional values.
Yeah,
that is such a common thing of like, as people get older, they seem to value more traditional values. I think especially I've seen a lot of women when they've been dating. Why do you think that happens?
I just think as you get older, you generally want to have that family unit.
Sure.
And you kind of appreciate the old school, kind of like what we call old school now, traditions of relationships. You kind of appreciate it more as you get older, especially when you see your parents or grandparents. You kind of aspire to that a bit more. When you're younger, you're caught in the moment of just like, is he hot? Is he rich? Or all those kind of things. But you're not thinking about family units. You're not thinking about the future as much. As you're getting older, you're a bit nearer to that future. So you kind of want to have that old school gentleman, because that's what you've been aspiring to, I guess.
Okay, I hear that. So I can hear the comments as well. A lot of guys watching this, they'll be like, okay, so you want a traditional man, but are you a traditional woman now? Like, even if what you've wanted has changed, do you feel like you've shifted? Have you changed to become the kind of woman who has that kind of relationship? Yeah,
absolutely. Because before, if somebody was like, oh, if I'm going to work all day, and if I wasn't working, like, would you, I'm very feminist, but I am also still very balanced. So if it was a case of making sure they came home and the food is ready and stuff, if you've been working all day and I haven't been doing much, I don't really see the issue of me making sure that there's dinner ready. Isn't that just a fair balance, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree.
Like old me might have not thought that, but me now thinks like this.
So what would the old you have thought? Because I think a lot of women will probably still in that. They'd be like, oh, well, why should I have to do that? So what would the old you have actually thought to that?
So the old me definitely would have been like, oh, I'm just going to do something really quick and easy then, because I don't even feel like cooking. Like, why can't you just get takeaway?
Okay.
Whereas now, I think if you're at work all day, then at least you want to come home to like a home cooked meal. And I think that's quite fair. If you're doing nothing all day, then we should both really be cooking, or you should be cooking. Do you know what I mean? Like, but if I'm not doing that much and you're out all day, I think there has to be some sort of compromise, doesn't there? You want obviously the bills paid, or you want things, to work in your favour. So you've got to, everything in moderation, isn't it? Yeah,
no, I hear that. Do you feel like, because I think a lot of young women, when they're, younger and they're striving for their career, their profession, all the power to them, but, very much wearing that I'm an independent woman badge. Do you feel has that changed for you over time as you've gotten older, or do you feel like now you still kind of, you still want to be that kind of independent woman in that sense? Do you know what I mean?
That sometimes can be a not a weakness for me, but I am obviously like quite independent. So sometimes I try and tap into my feminine energy by allowing the man to be the man.
Sure.
But that's definitely taken me time because
Yeah.
I've always been independent. That's not something you can just switch to overnight.
But yeah.
But I think because I have been doing my research on feminine energy, I am slowly letting a man feel needed, or that I need him. But but that has been a process.
No, of course.
Because I'm very like, you know, and I guess because I haven't had anyone to really fully rely on, like, ever, you always tap into that independence. I have a son as well.
Sure.
So you kind of go into that I don't need nobody mode anyway, especially as a parent. But I also noticed that could also make a man feel like there's nothing he could do for me, and then they don't feel needed. So I'm definitely now being a bit more like, okay, like let him do something to feel needed. Like, yeah.
I hear you. I really much. So I guess my question would be, what ways for you have you been learning how to add value to his life in feminine ways? Because I think 100%, I think a lot of women don't maybe provide the space for a man to be that masculine leadership in their life if they want that. But I think also it's not just about, okay, letting him be the man, but how are you showing up as the woman? So what would you say are like some feminine ways that you feel, okay, you've been learning, how do I add value to his life in this way?
Yeah, I guess by asking a little bit more for help, whereas before I just wouldn't at all, like, for anything. I try and do everything myself. So, like, yeah, just being like, oh, can I have help with this? It starts off with small things. It starts off with first, like something that you need help with. But then in regards into, I guess, bigger things where actual value is there, listening, I make sure that I just 100%, it's not always going to be me saying things. Be a good listener, because I feel like a lot of men don't actually get the chance to speak their mind or their emotions. And I think when you're quite independent, you always have like a thing to say when a man wants to speak about things.
Sure.
If you just listen and then let him say what to say, I think men will open up a little bit more if they know they're being listened to, without having this like strong independent woman being like, oh, but adding your like 2 pence in. Just listen. Just listen. Let him just speak. And then so I think it's more key things like that. Hasn't got to be massive things like gifts or things like that. I think it starts off with the small things and then it kind of grows from there.
100%. So what about how, you said about him helping you, how do you help him?
Yeah, I guess, well, like wifey things. Is that a thing? I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, you tell me.
Yeah, so like, well, I've got OCD, so I'm always cleaning anyway. But like if we're in a space where you want to feel comfortable, making sure that environment is calm, making sure that atmosphere is happy, being that positive energy around you. You've had a rubbish day.
Yeah.
You don't want to come home to them being nags, moaned. Do you know what I mean? Like, you want to, even if you've had a stressful day, you want your partner to come home and you want to be giving them that positive support, that positive energy.
Yeah.
And yeah, you don't want them to, you want them to come home, that's their safe space. Not, oh, I'm going to go out down the pub because I'm going to go home and she's going to be nagging. Do you know what I mean? Like, you want them to come home and be like, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Have you found, like, as you've, evolved yourself in this way, have you found a difference in maybe the guys that you've dated, how guys treat you? Have you found a difference in that at all?
Yes, I've tapped into more of that kind of vibe.
Yes.
But then what I seem to get is that, oh, you're lovely, but I can't give you what you need right now. And it's like, I've tapped into all these nice things, and I don't know, maybe because I'm not looking at anything serious, I don't know. But then after a few weeks with the whole like of love bombing and me being like, wearing my heart on my sleeve, it all just literally goes into the, oh, well, right now I can't give you what you need. You're a lovely girl. You deserve so much better. If you can, like, oh, for goodness sake, do you know what I mean? Yeah.
I hear you. So when they say that I can't give you what you need, what do they think that you need that they feel they can't give?
Because I've made it very clear, just want consistency. Where I am independent, I don't need your money, I don't need your, but time is important. Time together is important if you want to grow in a relationship. And that's where the issue lies, is that suddenly they don't have time.
As in, like, they had time with you before, but now they don't? Or they just didn't have as much time as you wanted from the beginning?
No. At the beginning, plenty of time they had.
You didn't have a job before, you had all the time. Now you've got 3 jobs? Where did this come from? It's been 2 weeks, homeboy. Yeah.
Okay. And it's not like, you've been sleeping together and that's now why they're like, oh yeah, I've got time now. This is just purely from dating.
Yeah.
And you're going on nice dates and you're getting along, and then, oh, you're a bit too far away. But at the beginning, I literally said, "Do you think the distance is a bit far?" No, it's fine. Now we're on the third.
Okay, I'm really
Yeah.
curious because it means that he had a lot of interest and attraction to you in the beginning, and then throughout dating within the first month, something switched. So like, tell us like the last situation that happened.
So last situation, yeah, literally under an hour, so 50 minutes away. It's quite far, but I wouldn't call it long distance, really.
No, I
50
wouldn't
minutes.
call that long distance. I wouldn't call it long distance.
Do you know what I mean?
Like you can do that.
And I even put at the beginning of the conversations, like, you know, is it? Oh no, that's fine. I said, well, yeah, it's still under an hour, so good. First date, amazing. Went really fancy, like fish place, brilliant. Planning a second date, all going really well. FaceTimes, calls, all that, and then suddenly, I don't think I could ever move out of this area, and I know you won't move out of your area. So before we get into anything deep, maybe we should just call it a day.
So it's just one date.
We were planning a second. We were planning a second date.
Okay.
And then literally, and this is like every day calls, FaceTimes, and then literally out the blue, I've been thinking about it, and I don't know how it would work long term because I'm not going to move out of my area. You're going to stay in your area, and I just think the distance. And I was like, but this is really what I've been trying to avoid. This is why I brought this up at the beginning stages, and it wasn't an issue then.
Yeah. So a couple of things that come to mind. One, I think the distance thing he's using as an excuse. I don't think that's the real reason.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the real reason. You know, you said you were kind of talking all the time.
Yeah.
Was that something that you were like wanting or like more instigating in a sense of you're like, oh, you know, you really value consistency, you want to talk every day and stuff like that? Was that something that you were like, this is what you want, and he was fulfilling that? Or was that something that he was kind of doing off his own back?
Yeah, sometimes it was actually quite a very balanced thing. So sometimes it was me messaging first, sometimes it's him messaging first.
Yeah.
I know not everyone likes video calls, but sometimes he'd be like, do you want to do video calls? So it seemed quite balanced, hence why I was quite optimistic about it.
Yeah.
You know? So it was kind of quite a big switch when nothing had actually gone wrong. We hadn't slept together either.
Yeah.
So there's so many things that confused me about that whole situation because I just don't really know what actually went wrong.
How old was he?
What am I? I think he was 39 or 37. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so not even a massive age gap from me.
And I'm curious because I love figuring this stuff out, right? Because I want to see if we can figure this out, right? So, did you have any kids?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who lived with him. She was obviously like a older teenager.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
But obviously, I have my son who obviously lives with me.
Yeah, of course.
So it was like quite a nice thing to have.
Yeah, like obviously, I'm guessing he wasn't looking to have more kids. Obviously, you knew he had kids. He knew you had a son. Honestly, it might have been that there was someone on the scene.
Yeah.
And sometimes that happens, right?
Yeah.
Because the thing is, I think just the landscape that we're in nowadays, you know, like you could be going on multiple dates with different guys, right? You know, and until you decide, okay, this is the guy I want to invest in, you know, then, and once you do decide that, the other two guys, you just be like, hey, X, Y, and Z, you know, it's been nice getting to know you, but whatever. And sometimes that could be the same, you know? I'd be curious to know because for him to take such an interest, he already knows the details and then he uses that as an excuse. I either think, okay, was he either just looking for some fun or was it like, I wonder. That's
After
interesting.
the first date, if it wasn't your vibe, I don't understand why we were then planning the seconds. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what really baffed me. I was like, well,
maybe something happened, you know.
It must have
not
done.
on your end though. Something with him. Like, because
it was quite full on. Like, it was even on the date. It was very much like, oh my gosh, it was like full on, like heavy love bombing. But he was obviously very genuine, so I didn't mind the love bombing because obviously it'd been very genuine over these times we've been talking.
Yeah.
So to go from that to that, it's quite.
So when you say he was love bombing, what was he saying to you?
Oh, well, it was just all the right things. About you know the future, how beautiful I am, just the typical things.
Okay.
But there was nothing that was giving me red flags. There was obviously, apart from obviously like most men do love bombing now, but there was no red flags for me to be like, oh, I'm not sure about that. You know, as women with our intuition, especially for me, I always follow my gut. There was no red flags, so that's why I was like, if someone got like a voodoo doll with him or something.
I wonder if something. I think it sounds like something else has happened that's just completely just out of your control.
Yeah.
Like for example, like I know you said he has kids. What's his relationship with the mother of the children like? Is it good or quite bad?
Quite good. Only because the daughter was like 19, so he didn't have to really be involved with the mum that much because she's obviously like nearly 20.
Yeah, of course, yeah. That's interesting.
I
Yeah,
know.
it sounds like something happened externally.
So I was thinking, like, is it me? So I don't know. I was like replaying the dates, like,
Yeah.
so I said, because if he said it after the date, I'd have been like, oh, something about the date he didn't like. But
Yeah, maybe
he
that is just
starts to plan a second one.
Yeah.
That's maybe really really confused. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. How long were you like talking after the second date, and then before he?
So after the first date, we were only talking for about another week whilst planning the second date.
Yeah.
And then I think one morning I just woke up to this like paragraph text. So it wasn't even like over a telephone call or voice note. It's just a text like, oh, I'm not really into the long distance and all that thing. I even said like, I don't mind coming down to. Cause I think obviously it might be in his head he thought he has to keep coming to me because I don't do my driving and stuff. But I was like, oh, that's fine. I don't mind hopping on a trip. I was very like, I'll play my part. I don't mind coming to you.
Yeah.
Oh no, but it's just not going to work for me, the long distance. So you're going like you're in Wales, like.
Yeah, that's an excuse. There's something else going on there. I reckon there's something externally with that. There's definitely something else going on there. Interesting. Is there something you want to bring to the conversation today? Something you want to ask about?
Yeah, for me, I think like consistency is like so important. It just seems like no one is consistent these days.
Okay, what does consistency look like to you?
Like if you're going to start off a certain way, and these are the expectations that you have given me as to why I'm then attracted to you or why I'm thinking like, oh, this could be a potential. If that starts to then suddenly become not consistent, naturally I'm going to feel away because you've shown me a different side of you that I've been attracted to, and then you're now changing it. If you showed me that your non-consistent side originally, it might be like, oh, this is not for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Get that. So when you say consistent, do you mean like the messaging and talking every day?
Yeah.
What do you
messaging,
mean?
Talking, planning stuff, even if it's just like a little lunch. It could be a thing major.
Yeah.
But it's those type of things, especially the actual communication, because everyone's busy. I understand that.
Yeah.
But definitely like the, you know, hope your day's been all right. It's actually the little things. But then if it goes from that every day to suddenly nothing, it's a bit like, oh, so if this is the real you and that's the facade, I don't actually like the real you. So just show me that in the first place.
Okay, I get that. I get
Yeah.
that. And I'm not saying that sometimes guys can't be really full on and pull back for maybe they started, dating someone else or whatever. But I think one thing we have to be careful of is just because a guy starts by messaging you every single day, you're not entitled to that. So, like, and don't get me wrong, I get it's nice. It's like, okay, yeah, this consistent communication, which is great. But also, I think one thing we have to remember is that until you guys are in a relationship, you have no obligations to each other, right? So he's not entitled to anything from you. You're not entitled to anything from him. It's completely fair to be like, oh, I was getting this kind of energy from you, and I kind of feel, a little bit more distant than you, know, and you like this, but that doesn't mean that you're entitled to that level of communication.
Yes.
Just because, sure, like I said, I get it, you're progressing to something, but until you're in a relationship or you're really dating seriously, then we have to be careful not to be like, okay, well, I deserve this. Because here's the thing. If a guy was like, oh, when we first met, we were sleeping together, and now sometimes you come over and we don't, like, you started with that consistency, and now it's got to a point where, like, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Like, is he entitled to sleeping with you? Is he entitled to your body just because that's how you started?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But then this is why I'm saying is, how far in dating are you actually going? But if they go from wanting to see you to then just not wanting to see you, then that's like a difference between being consistent and just kind of maybe a lack of intention now.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Because I guess one thing I would ask you is, what's one thing you feel you recognize in men now that you didn't before?
I guess from early conversations now, I'm a bit more trying to grasp, because there's banter, and then there's like banter that with truth in it.
Okay, like what?
So like say I start talking to a guy, and if cracking a few little cheeky innuendo jokes like, oh, how's your day? Oh, not that great because you're not there. Like, okay, I can get that. But if you're trying to have a conversation, like, oh, like, tell me some things, like, that I wouldn't know about. He's like that weird, and they're like, oh, you'll find out one day I'm mysterious. And you'll be like, Okay, right. Do you still want some kind of thing? And then you're kind of like still talking.
Yeah.
And then the conversation is just all innuendos.
Right.
I like banter, but I definitely can spot now if you just want fun from your innuendos.
Sure.
Whereas before, I'd be like, oh, he's just so funny. Oh, it's just banter. Completely ignoring the fact that there's some truth in these innuendos. He just wants... Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah, just looking for fun.
Yeah.
That's what I'm not looking for. So I kind of clock onto things a bit quicker now.
Yeah.
Just through the early conversations, whereas before, oh, it's just banter. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I think when it comes to that kind of stuff, especially over messaging, I think if those innuendos are like playful, sexual banter, if that's completely unprovoked, 100%, I'd say like he's just looking for something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But if you're kind of bouncing off each other, and maybe he's just taking it a bit too far, I think that can be an innocent mistake.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It can be an innocent mistake in that sense. Do you think, like, did you ever have a phase where like you weren't looking for anything serious, you were just looking to like connect with people, just explore and just kind of do that? Did you ever have that?
Yeah, 100%. But again, I think even though I'm not entitled, I wanted consistency. And
even with guys who you were just casual with?
Yeah.
I had consistent communication?
Yeah.
No freaking way, Kaye. Why would you think that? Why would you think that?
Because, just because I like, I don't want to, I'm a more of a relationship person than I am a single person. So if I'm dating, I'm just dating one person until that goes wrong.
Okay. Even if it's casual?
Yeah. I don't know why. I think because most of my relationships have been really, really long. I've only ever had long relationships.
Sure.
Like 3 years, 5 years, 4 years. I ain't really had like little like 4 months relationship, 6 months. I've never had that. So I'm not used to dating loads of people at the same time. It's just kind of like, okay, we're dating.
Yeah.
And then if that goes wrong, oh, okay, right. Yeah, which probably is not a good thing. It's better, but it's hard when you're used to relationships. You just want to give all your all to whoever it is you're seeing or dating. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think being casual with one person at a time is probably best. I do generally, especially for women. But I guess if you're saying you kind of want to pour into it like it is a relationship, what part for you is the casual part?
What do you mean? Like,
so like, for example, if you're saying like, okay, you guys are being intimate, like you're sleeping together and you're talking every day, spending that time, that sounds like a full-on relationship, right?
Yeah.
So like, what was casual? What would have made it casual? What was the difference between that and someone you're dating seriously?
If we weren't going to talk every day, then I would want to know that I'm at least seeing you once a week.
Yeah, but what I mean is, okay, how would you date? What's the difference between how you would date a guy just casually and a guy that you're dating seriously? What's the difference?
So if it was just dated casually, it would still be that person. But obviously, I know that it would just be the sexual. Whereas if you're dating, then you're actually planning stuff together, days out. You're planning a lot more things basically. Okay. If it's just casual, then obviously it might just be having fun and that's it. But for me, it's like either one. I still want the consistency.
I get you.
Yeah.
So for a lot of guys, that consistency of communicating every day, that is girlfriend treatment.
Yeah.
That is not casual treatment.
Yeah.
That is like, you're my girlfriend. You're my woman, right? Because some guys are happy to text all day, every day. But for a lot of guys, what they would naturally sit on in terms of the frequent of communication generally is much lower than women. So they make an effort in that area because he knows it's important to her.
Yeah.
But if it's not, but he's only going to make an effort in that area if it's like, oh, this is a woman that I'm going to be getting into a relationship with.
Yes.
Or that I am in a relationship with her.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is why if it comes to casual, he's like, well, why would we message every day? Because this isn't, we're not together, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%. But I think even with the casual thing, if we're not messaging every day, it's like, this is in my head,
yeah,
if I'm not seeing you at least once or say like, it's not even once a week, it's like once a month or something. For me, I'm like, no, block.
Even if it's casual?
Yeah.
Really? Why?
Yeah. Because for me, I'm just like, no, you're like...
But you've got to block him though?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I'm just like, I don't just want it once a month.
I get that until once a month. Like once a week, then fair enough.
Yeah, once a week, yeah.
But do you have to talk on the other days too?
No. No.
Oh, I
No.
thought you said you have to like speak
No,
all the
no,
time.
no. If it's just casual, then I don't want to know. I'm only seeing you weekly.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But
She's like, I got my needs. Come on.
But the guys are they're not even doing that. Then I'm just like, nah.
So have you found that with a guy, like, as in just seeing him once a week, like on a casual level, like he's not even doing that?
Yeah. And I'm just like, well, this is pointless then.
Okay,
and that's when I end up doing my blocking thing.
Is this even if he's not talking to you every day, that's fine, you don't mind that?
Yeah, that's fine. If I knew, every Friday, every Saturday, like we're having this like time together, in my mind I'm like, okay, so there's some sort of consistency there. If it's not talking, like there's something that I know is happening.
Yeah.
Rather than like spontaneous, don't know when I'm gonna see him again. That just annoys me.
So I get that. So did you ever have it where, for example, you didn't speak to him for a week and then, Thursday night you messaged him, hey, do you want to come over tomorrow? And he'd be like, no, I don't want to come.
No, it's more of a thing of like, okay, so like, oh, are you gonna be around? You'll be around this week? Oh, I don't know, I've got a lot on. Okay, cool. And then the next week comes, and then it's still me asking.
Okay.
Like, okay, so when are we seeing each other again? Do you know what I mean? It's like, number one, I don't know why it's me asking again when really we're trying to take turns on this thing. He's asking, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, don't know, is this going to be a regular thing? Is it going to be on his terms when he's suddenly free? I don't know. 3 months later, like, oh hey, like, no, that to me just seems unfair.
I see what you're saying. So I think a lot of the time this situation, because obviously if a guy's, so I know how you're like, if you're casual with a guy, that's the only guy. Guys generally don't operate that way.
I know.
So if he may be casual with you, with Jessica, with Lucy, right? And it could be that, okay, this week he sees you, next week he sees Jess, maybe sees you again, maybe sees Lucy. Sometimes guys operate that way if they're just in a casual vibe.
Yeah.
So I think that's why, and especially because obviously everything's all chilled, it's just like a benefits kind of thing. He's not going to show up like that regular communication, even getting a date in the diary.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be like, okay, let's plan for, it's not impossible, but I think if you guys know just kind of what it is, I think it's usually like within the, like a 48-hour, 72-hour kind of turnaround, being like, okay, cool, like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm feeling horny today. Like, let me text him, see what he's up to. Or like guys would do that. Like, let me text her, see what she's up to.
It's that spontaneity that I think I've grown out of. Maybe when I was younger, and it's spontaneous. Oh no, it's been fine. But I don't really do the spontaneity thing now. That makes sense.
Okay, why is that? Why are you like completely shut off to that?
I'm a bit of a planner.
Yeah.
So probably a bit my personality in there as well. I like to kind of like really know what's going on and when, especially being a parent as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's
that's
actually
part very true. Yeah.
Thinking childcare, I'm thinking, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And where I'm more of a relationship person, I'm used to knowing a bit more what's going on rather than just like a random Thursday, like, you free? It's a bit like, so it's on your terms because you feel free. It's all on your terms almost. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I guess you both have to be up for it, right?
Yeah, but it's like you're hoping that I would say yes on your spontaneous date.
Of course, that's why he's asking.
Like, but again, like, I kind of like it when we've both like set something, even if it's just we set a day, like, oh yeah, Friday. At least then you got some sort of balance of, okay, so we both. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Yeah.
I don't think that's unreasonable to ask for, actually. I don't think it's unreasonable. But I think when it's like a casual thing, a lot of the times from what I've seen, it does err on the more spontaneous side of things.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you free tonight or you free tomorrow?
That
as
shows
opposed
me
to,
that I'm not a casual person because I
enough.
just can't do this spontaneity.
Yeah, no. I think it happens.
I mean?
It definitely happens. What do you think men look for in a woman for something casual? And then what do you think he looks for in a woman for something serious?
That's a good question. I guess something serious. I guess they were looking for like wife, mother kind of qualities.
Yeah, 100%.
Whereas it's something casual, they're just it's more attraction based.
Yeah, for sure.
It's okay, we get along, blah blah. But that's not their ultimate thing. It's like, are you hot? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If
yeah,
it's something serious, okay, if you're attractive, it's a bonus. But like, you know, how well are we getting along? Are we vibes, and are we?
yeah.
There's a bit more thought into it, isn't it?
Yeah,
So I
no, I
think that's the
completely
difference,
agree.
yeah.
What would you say? What's it for women? What makes you take a guy just casually and make a guy go, oh, maybe you could take him seriously?
For me, it goes back to it goes back to the planning thing again. If I've got a
Okay.
guy saying like, "Oh, I've seen this really nice restaurant. I'd love to take you to there. Like, when are you next free? Like, I'd love to take you there. You're gonna love it." You know, he's thought about something that I might like. He's thought, and obviously, and he likes too because it's someone that he's been before. He's wanting to share this experience with me. That's nice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Someone that's casual are not going to think like that. They're not going to be like, oh yeah, I saw this good restaurant. They're just thinking like, oh, what lingerie you got today? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's so
Yeah,
true.
so
So true.
there's definitely a lot less thought.
So is it more about how he shows up, which will make you go whether he's casual or serious? Is there nothing about the guy himself?
I mean, I do ask little questions to try and get a grasp on how often I would see the person. So
Yeah,
if they're like, I work weekends,
sure.
I'm like, okay, so I'm not going to really see them at weekends.
Yeah.
There's certain questions you can ask to get a feeling
So
of
his
how...
availability.
Yeah.
How
Do you know-
available are you?
Yeah, because everyone could
To
be like,
sort
oh
my
yeah,
needs.
free, and then suddenly it's like, oh no, I'm working on the weekend, and then suddenly you ain't sitting for 3 weeks. You know what I mean? So I think it's very important to kind of know each other's not schedules, but you need to know how available somebody is.
Okay.
And I think someone who, for women, I think a guy that shows he's casual would always seem busy,
Sure. Yeah.
always come across busy.
Yeah, yeah,
And that for me
yeah.
is instant like, okay, you look at something casual.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If a guy is saying like, okay, yeah, I've seen this place that we should go to, or like, oh, this film just come out on Netflix, like, shall we watch it? You're planning little things. It can still, in a man's head, it can still mean that he's being casual, but there's definitely less signs of that for women to know than there is when he's just constantly busy and there's nothing planned, nothing spoke about.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, 100%. So I guess, okay, what would it take? Let's say a guy approaches you, he's interested in you, he wants something serious, but what would make you only see him as something casual? So like he's intentional.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I want to take you out, I want to plan and stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, he's cool, but what would it happen where you only see him as something casual, even if he's trying to date you seriously?
What would give off casual vibes?
Or is it literally just how he shows up? Like, is it like, okay, if he shows up
To be
intentional,
honest,
then I know it's
yeah,
open.
yeah, I've hit my own nail on the head.
Got it.
It's the dating. If they just want to
Okay.
come round,
Right.
that to me screams instant casual. We ain't been on no dates, ain't been on nothing like that. If a guy is not saying, I would like to take you out on a date, and I know there's still guys that are casual that do the whole dating thing, but you can, for me, if it's just like, oh, when can I come round, or like dates, I think dates are really important. I think you can actually really get to know somebody a bit deeper when you are dating. But I've noticed some of the people I have been dating in the past, fair enough, yeah, that it hasn't worked out, but there's definitely more of a how can I describe it? People, the casual boys don't really want to be planning dates.
No, they wouldn't.
You know?
Yeah, they wouldn't.
Whereas it's hard to say because some casual boys are just manipulators and they're just like, oh yeah, by the second date, like it'd be casual.
Yeah, but maybe he still like wants to maybe he still wants to like actually spend some time with you, even if it's just casual. I don't think that's like a bad thing.
No, but I've definitely noticed though that the more casual ones, they're not. It's always me then bringing up about a date. They'll kind of come up, well, no, you're not coming around because we haven't even been on a date yet. It's more me then saying something. If a guy is the first person to be like, I would love to take you out, you know, and sex hasn't been spoken about or anything. Oh, yes, guys can still lie about that, but it's still been their initiative to do that.
Yeah.
Not me saying it and then being like, oh yeah, okay, because I said it.
Yeah. No, that's true. So every guy you've ever been involved with, if he showed up in a serious way, you'd be open to exploring a real relationship with him.
They do the whole dating thing first.
Yeah.
But my intentions always, I say more so now, maybe in the past I just wouldn't really care, but it's me now. I don't want to be just dibby-dibbying around. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm getting too old for that. You have to date with intention. And I'm not even wanting to be like jumping to anything serious, but it's nice to do nice things together, spend time together, and have fun. Let's be honest, the first year is honeymoon period.
Yeah.
So your main thing in that first year is to have fun, get to know each other, blah, blah, blah. If we're just doing this, I call it dibby-dibbying, like, that's long. That for me, you're blocked again.
You're blocking guys left, right and centre. Just, I ain't seen you for 2 weeks, block.
I am
You're planning dates, block, that's it, I'm out. What do you think women struggle to understand about guys today?
I think where women are very independent now, and we do still want the equality of men and women, we can't want everything. That makes sense. Or a lot of women don't want to give. We want the guy with, the good job, the money, blah blah blah. But if that's if that's the case of that, we want that, then we still have to do our part, which is, look after the house. Don't let ourselves go, because men have a very
visual.
Still look after yourself and make sure you're still, if you've got pajamas that you've had for like 5 years, and you're like getting to bed and like, you know what I mean? Like, you still want to make sure you're sexy and attractive for your partner. Do you know what I mean? So still things like that. Even sexually as well. If you're always going, I'm tired, I got a headache, but you want all your bills paid, you want the dinner, you know what I mean? Like, you have to, whatever you can give that maybe isn't financial or whatever, like, do that. And I think women nowadays, very, very quick to be like, he's got to have money, he's got to have da-da-da, but then don't want to cook, let themselves go, don't want to do everything in the bedroom or try new things, and that's when things all go Pete Tong.
Yeah, it's true. If I'm being completely transparent with you, that is a big reason why a lot of women, like a lot of very attractive women, they're not getting serious commitment from guys. Like these guys who can bring all of this stuff to the table, because a lot of these guys are like, so I'm doing a lot of this, but you don't want to add value to my life. You don't want to make my life easier or do these things that are, the ways that are meaningful to him. Yeah. But the thing is, guys will never actually say this. All they will show is that they'll date a girl for a bit, they'll have some fun, and then when it comes down to actually committing, he'll find some excuse of, why he doesn't want to, whatever. And she's like, I think as well, especially if that's been a pattern, like if that's been a pattern for you as a woman, then you really have to ask yourself, okay, what is it that I'm doing or that I haven't started doing yet that's really jeopardizing my potential with these guys? Because it's easy to say, every guy's out here just not looking for commitment, but at the end of the day, if you're in a pattern, the common denominator is you. I'd say that to guys as well. Like if you find that you're having the same kind of results with the women that you date or take an interest in, then you have to look at yourself and be like, okay, well, there's something that I'm doing or that I'm not yet doing that isn't serving what I want long term. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
But, if I'm being honest, I feel like you're quite aware of like that and having these shifts and changes and being like, okay, what is it that I want? How do I want to show up and stuff? Do you feel like that's a thing? Did something happen? Do you think that just comes with age? Like, what do you think kind of inspired this kind of reflection and maybe evolution in yourself?
Yeah. I think so. So I've been single just over a year now. I went on maybe quite a few dates last year, maybe like, I don't say quite a few, like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And I think when I first started dating, I was very kind of like, just someone that was going to make me feel special, just someone that's going to be really nice. But then after, it's just this pointless dates, you then start to feel like, I'm literally not going on another date unless I've literally got some really heavy green flags, because obviously it just gets so tiring after a while and quite draining. But I do think that has come also a bit with age.
Sure.
My type has completely changed.
Oh, really? What was your type before? What is it now?
I wouldn't even say bad boy. I would say men with not much ambition.
If you're loving this episode and these kinds of conversations, then I want to give you something. We recently launched the Kits Angels community. This is a sisterhood for women who are tired of what the dating scene has given them and are ready to take their love lives to the next level. It's a space for you as a woman to not be alone in your journey to love, where we learn, talk, and share our experiences as part of a strong sisterhood, with some leadership and guidance from yours truly, of course. Not to mention never before seen videos from me on how I've led dozens of women to meeting great men. And so as a thank you for watching this episode, I'm giving you a month's membership completely complimentary on me. Just click the Kits Angels link below, and when you join the group, message me the code phrase Angels Podcast and I will pay for your membership. Now back to the episode.
Okay.
I'm obviously quite ambitious, and I've never really gone for a guy who is kind of like on my level, because I do think the opposites attract, and you can help each other with different things. I don't want someone that's exactly like me.
Yeah.
But with that, it also comes with building with somebody, and that's doing things together. And what I've obviously felt over the years is that I've gone. I wouldn't say I'm now higher up than you know, because obviously he's probably still earning more than me. But ambition-wise, like doing online courses, doing your driving, those kind of things. Suddenly it's just you doing all of that, and then they don't want to do all of that. You then feel like, I'm just doing this by myself. I'm now building by myself. I thought we were doing this together, so we can, go on holiday together, so we can put a deposit for a house together. I'm now doing everything I can to try and better myself. You're just quite casual, but which is fine. Everyone's entitled to do their own thing. But when you start off like that, and then suddenly now you're like really going for it, and then you're like, oh.
So is it that your drive has gotten higher, but his has stayed the same?
Yes.
So I guess why? Because I guess, and thing is, there's nothing wrong with wanting what you want, but it sounds like then what you want has changed, not him.
Yeah.
Like, if you both start here and then you start climbing, but he's like still being consistent in where he is. There's nothing wrong with him. You've just changed what you want.
Correct.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So that's what I was saying. Like, over time, my wants and things have changed.
Sure. Have you ever had it where you've been with a guy and you've started to do that and he hasn't, and then you're like, oh, I don't want this anymore?
Yeah, my last relationship.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
We were together for 5 years and engaged as well.
Okay. And it's because your ambition grew and he didn't?
Yeah. And obviously, like, that's 5 years of being very, very patient and waiting.
Did he have ambition before?
Yeah, but it's talk. I'm more actions. Anyone can say things. It's how you can implement actions to those words.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair.
But I'm a very patient person. So, first year, second year, third year, fourth year. Do you know what I mean? We've been engaged for a hot sec now. I'm thinking like, are we even gonna plan the wedding? But obviously, if you're trying to do everything that you can to get more money and do online courses, it does start to feel like, is it actually going to happen? Because you're not willing to do that bit more. So we're kind of like doing this together.
Did he feel like he was trying?
Yeah.
Could it be possible that he was trying, but you just didn't think it was good enough? Is that possible?
Yep. I would be in denial to myself to be like, oh, no. But yeah, 100% that is true. Like his trying could have been the best he could do at that time.
Sure.
But I think for me, because I'd already invested years and years and years and years, I was a bit scared. Am I going to have to invest another 5 years? And that's kind of when I had to really think about it.
Sure.
I don't know how much more patient I can be. If this is you trying your best, love it. But I don't really want to wait another 5 years for it still not to be what
you want it to
I'm
be.
aiming for. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, it's interesting because I think I completely get that. I completely get how you're like, okay, you saw potential in him, etc. I think this is where this is something guys find very difficult to like handle, because for them it feels like he was good enough for you before, but now he isn't, or you never really accepted him before. What you accepted was a future version of him that you painted in your head, and then when he didn't become that guy, you're like, well, now I'm letting this go. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but remember when I met him at the time, my ambitions were different. I wasn't thinking about, obviously think about the future, but obviously, I was 28. I was still old, but it's not like, but 5 years down the line, your ambitions, well, for me, they're completely changed. I really wanted to obviously give my son the best life he can have, and
was it his son as well?
Sorry?
Was it his son as well?
No.
Was he a parent?
Yes.
Oh, okay, fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
And obviously we saw his kids, he saw my kids, we all stayed together. Like, a family unit.
Yeah, of course.
But I do think this is where I guess relationships can go wrong when you do start off wanting the same thing, and then suddenly one person's things change and that other person doesn't want to. It can then obviously spoil the whole relationship. But then you don't want to settle and bring your ambitions down just because that's how you started off. When there's goals that you want to really achieve, but with someone. This is how some women still think they can just be independent. Like, I want to do this with somebody.
But you can, but like, you being with him doesn't stop you from achieving your ambitions just because his ambitions don't match yours.
Yeah, but say the perfect example is you want to plan a nice holiday as a family, and you know what money you got coming in, you know what you're doing, that's gonna help get this holiday to happen, for example.
Yeah.
They're stuck in the comfort zone, don't know what's coming in, don't know what, and you're thinking, well, how's this gonna happen then? Do I go away without you? Are we gonna be able to, if we were both doing this, we can afford this holiday, for example, together. Now I'm doing it by myself. Don't think I'm going to be able to even afford it now. It's just these little things. These things you naturally feel, I think, where I changed, things I naturally thought would happen over time that we can do together, then just became me. You know what I mean?
I do get that. I get that. So I'm going to play devil's advocate here because, okay, let's talk about the holiday example, right? So if you want to go on a holiday, but you know you can't afford it, why is that his problem?
We both wanted to.
Okay.
So it's like, it'd be nice if we can have like, okay, so we're going to save up this amount each month.
Yeah.
And then buy blah, 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 we got a deposit or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But because he didn't know what money was coming in, you can't plan it.
Okay. Has he always been like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So then my next question would be, let's say like your ambitions have grown, amazing. You started doing things for your own business professionally and you've started to make decent money. Why is it a problem for you to finance the holiday if you know you can afford it and he just contributes whatever he can?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I hear that. But as a woman, you want to know that you're supported, just like a man wants to know he's supported. Like men don't see the support financially, like from women. Also, some men do, but men make sure that you know that they're doing like wifey duties and looking good. So we want a bit of support financially. If we're doing that ourselves, might as well just be by ourselves. Well, that's how I think. I'll just be single the rest of my life then. I'll do it myself.
So if he's not bringing any kind of financial support to you, he's dead to me.
I wouldn't say he's dead, but it's like, I might just do it by myself.
But I guess this is okay, and I get it, and like I said, I'm kind of playing devil's advocate, but because the thing is, guys, we don't think that way. So if we're together and I can afford to take us on this holiday and you can't, it's like, cool, babe, I got it for us. Because we're a team, right? Yeah. So if this is where this is my strength, right? And it's not your strength, but me adding my strength means we can have this experience together. Then I guess guys would ask, why can't you do that for him? If, okay, you doing the financial side is where your strength is. Maybe it's not his, but if you can do that for each other, why would you not do that?
100%. But we're still doing our part, though. I'm still making sure the house is clean, the dinner's cooked, that I'm looking good, the sex is good. You don't have to do all of that and then... Do you know what I mean? Like we're still doing our part. Like, you know what I
get 100%. I completely get that. But I mean, like, okay, we're talking like household duties. Most of the time when people live together, like, you're both kind of doing something, I guess. Even though maybe more women tend to take that on, but then I would say like, so what though? Because if you're saying you want to go on this holiday, right? Because we're just talking about this holiday. It's like a one-time thing, right? So you've already sorted out how you guys live together, all of that stuff, and you want to go on this holiday because of your strengths as a woman and what you're being able to do for yourself. You've got to a point where you can financially fund this holiday for potentially the both of you, and maybe he hasn't. So what if you then finance that for both of you? Like, because you're with him, are you with him because of his...
No.
Do you know what I mean?
If that's the case, then if you're at home all day, for example, because you haven't found any work, the walls need painting. Do you know what I mean? Like, there needs to be some sort of, like, surprise me then. Let me come home and you've painted the house, or you come home and you sorted out the windows that I've been going on about. Then I'd be like, a bit more like, don't actually mind that I paid for this holiday, because like, I'm easily pleased. They're like, you painted the walls. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you just come out and you just like, I've just been doing. It's not going to be like, I'm going to pay for us to go. Yeah, do that effort.
I get what you're saying. Okay. Do you know what's really funny? Something I've noticed, and I have to be honest, right? I've noticed that whenever I've spoken to women where, let's say the man is the primary breadwinner and he's the one covering the bills, he's the one kind of making you feel safe and secure and stuff, and then he's like, well, this is what I want in return. I hear a lot of women push back and be like, no, but you're with me for me, not because of these things that I do, right? Like, it shouldn't be, okay, just because you provide this, I now have to do this for you. But whenever we flip it, and it's like, oh, if it's the woman who's playing the more financial side of things, suddenly it becomes very transactional. Where it's like, cool, well, if I'm paying for this, you better be doing this, and this, right? Are you not just there with him for him?
Yeah, I think that's a good fair point to play.
Yeah.
But if look, I've never experienced this man yet,
Okay.
so that came my way, and he's like paying a bit. Listen, if you're saying to me, oh yeah, when I get back, I want my dinner cooked at bar, I'm doing it then, because I haven't experienced this world yet. It's
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean. I can't answer that question fully because I haven't experienced this type of man yet.
Fair enough.
That has been the full-on provider. It's always been a little bit them, mostly me, or if it has been a bit more them, that's then stopped. It's back to me again. I've never had anybody that's actually been a full-on breadwinner provider. So to allow me to be this woman that can do the things that they want, haven't had it yet.
Okay, completely fair. So if, let's say, the next guy you dated, he was that kind of guy, would you submit to his decisions?
1,000,000,000%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm an old school romantic Disney. I believe in this. No, it's a bit cliche, but I am, you know.
She's like, a fairy tale Disney.
Yeah.
Dorian Gray. I want all of it.
Yeah. So if you're gonna, do that, and you're asking me, cool, because I think it's very fair to have balance.
Okay.
I
hear that.
But I haven't experienced that yet. So, you know what I mean? Like,
no, I hear that.
But I would 100% like submit. Not as in like, I would like kiss your feet. You know what I mean?
No.
I would do my part if you're doing all of that. It's only fair. Isn't it?
Like, essentially, you would do the things he asked of you.
Yeah. Yep.
Fairs. Do you think most women are like that?
No. Yeah.
Why do you think they're not like that?
Because a lot of the women, I say a lot, okay, in my friendship group, like, there's not many people that are in happy relationships, but a lot of women that are like that have always had a provider man, so they're almost expectant of it.
What do you mean?
You're saying, so like, if you're used to that kind of lifestyle, you're going to be more like, no, like, I'm not doing that. Or
I see. If you're used to being that kind of man.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. If you get a woman like myself that's not used to that, of course you're going to be more like, yeah, I would submit to this because you get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought it would have been the opposite. So that if you're used to being that kind of man, you're used to, following his guidance, his leadership. You're used to doing things for him that he asked you to do. Whereas if you're so used to making the decisions or being the independent woman in a relationship, suddenly you come in now and it seems like a man's telling you what to do. You'd be like, what the no, like, I'm not going to do what you tell me to do. I'm not going to do what you ask of me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're saying more because you've never had it, you would try that new dynamic.
Yeah.
And actually follow his guidance in that sense.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I get that. It
Yeah.
makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Makes complete sense. What's something else you want to bring to the conversation today?
I guess the key thing is, like, for anyone that's just like new dating, like, just be your authentic self. I would rather just see who you are early on.
Yep.
Than you doing this bloody Pinocchio thing for like 3-4 months and then you want to show who you are. Just put it as raw as you want to be. I want to see it early. I want to see it early as possible.
But you know why they don't do. You know why they don't do that, Kaye? Why? Okay. Why do you think Why do you think it seems like guys will kind of shift several months down the line?
Got bored or just can't help themselves getting with other girls.
Maybe.
I'm very much myself from day one. Like, as soon as you start dating, I'm just authentically myself.
Yep.
So nothing changes with me. Like what you see is what you get. If you like it, great. If you don't, cool. And it's not going to be 6 months down the line, I'm now bitchy and da-da-da. No, what you say, what you get from the beginning. This is me.
Sure.
I just find with men, it's never, ever, ever that case. It would be nice to just have that reciprocated. We're both being authentic selves. It might be that we're just not compatible, we're just not suitable, and that's not your fault, that's not my fault.
Sure.
But don't be putting on this thing, and then I found out, oh, that's actually not you. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, I hear you. So I think we need to separate between who he is as a person and how he shows up for you. Right? So who he is as a person is who his personality.
Yeah.
How he shows up for you is like him taking you on dates, him like talking or calling you every day, all of that stuff, right? So I think it can happen where he is who he is as a person. That's actually there from the beginning. But in the beginning, he just shows up in a certain way, right? And the reason he shows up in that certain way is because it's an investment.
Yeah.
Right? He sees it as an investment. What's the definition of an investment? Right. He's going to get a return on it. So if we see it as, okay, it's an investment, after a few months, if he's getting the return on what he invested in, right, then it can seem like, oh, he's not doing X, Y, and Z, right? And now he's suddenly changed on me. He's actually different. Where actually it's like the reason he was showing up in that certain way because it was an investment to get to a point where you guys are now together. Now, personally, I believe that as a man, it doesn't matter if you've been with her for 2 months, 2 years, 20 years, you should still be taking out on dates. You still be like planning things, fun experiences together. If that was how you showed up when you were dating, you should continue to show up while you're together, right? Same as a woman, whatever you did while you were dating to get the guy, you need to continue doing that as well.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're, I don't know, like make sure you're looking snatched, if you're always showing, gratitude and appreciation, helping him with the small medial tasks or whatever it is, you should still be doing that. But I think if we see it as, okay, so for example, if let's say a guy like matches with you on like a dating app or sees you online, she's like, wow, like Kaye is gorgeous, she looks great, like seems like a lovely energy and stuff. I really want to see if I can get to know her and maybe date her. Now, maybe he's thinking, okay, I want to impress you. So I'm going to book, I know you like fish, I'm going to book the nicest fish restaurant in town, right? So you go, you're like, oh, this is nice. And you tell him more stuff about you, what you like. And you're like, oh yeah, like maybe say you love going to the beach. It's like, okay, cool. I'm going to plan us going to the beach because I know she loves that. Cool, great. 2-3 months in, he can't maybe afford to take you to that fish restaurant every week. He can't maybe afford, maybe because of his time, maybe he can't afford to always take you to the beach every other week either, right? But he did that in the beginning because it was an investment to get to a point where you guys could explore a relationship together. Yeah. Now, like I said, if I'm talking to guys, I think they should not start with the fancy restaurant. Girls are going to hate me for this. They shouldn't start with that because unless you're going to be consistent with that, she's going to expect that from you. So unless you're going to be consistent in going places, once, twice, 3 times a month where the bill's going to be $150, right? Or for each of you, right? You should not start with that. Yeah. It works against you as a man because of this reason. Because when you can't afford it consistently, but you were doing it because you want to make an effort with her, she starts to think that you played her. She starts to think that you're different. Does that make sense?
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
And like, even if like it's to take away the finance side, say like the beginning you're having picnics on the beach, and then you're not even doing that. Do you know what I mean? So it's even those little things as well. Yeah,
I get you. This is why like a lot of like holiday romances never last when people go back to normal lives. Because when you're on holiday, you have more free time. Yeah. You're there to spend money. You're there to have a good time, vibes, all of this stuff. But when you get back to normal life, it's like, oh, this person doesn't have as much time for me as I thought. Oh, this person was, he was doing all these things when on holiday, but actually, maybe he can't do that because of his schedule, or maybe he can't do that because he's got responsibilities now. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Classic. Like if you meet someone on holiday, you have an amazing time, but they've got a child back home. When you go back home, you're going to feel them like, cause you're a parent, right? So you can't just like have a weekend off. Yeah. You can't just be like, let's stay in bed all day. Like you just can't do that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, I completely understand what happens, but I think to take into consideration is a guy can make a serious effort in the beginning to impress you. Yeah. but he did that because he wants to give you a good time, but he just can't sustain that because of where he's at. Wherever it is. Does that make sense?
But yeah, 100%. I think this is where, you know, come up with some other ideas that is in your capacity then. Do you know what I mean? That you can still come up with little things that do work with your time schedule or your finances. It's when there's nothing.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, it's
that's
like,
fair. That's
it's still,
fair.
I'm very appreciative of little things. And you kind of do the little things. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm not very expectant because I haven't had it.
Yeah.
But you can't even do the little things that can mean big things.
Yeah, it's true. Where do you think, for guys, the equivalent is where they felt, oh, she was doing this in the beginning, but now she isn't?
So I think, because with men, it's about personality, but it's still very physical as well when it comes to men.
Sure.
So if you're obviously making sure you're, you know, really attractive at the beginning, that you're pleasing them in the bedroom, you're cooking, cleaning, and then suddenly your house is getting a bit messy, you're not cooking, cleaning as much, you're, you know, all girls can put on weight, but obviously maybe he was attracted to you because you were a certain size. It shouldn't matter if you love somebody, but you know, men are men.
Yeah, it's true.
So you're not taking care of yourself.
It's
then,
true.
And I guess again with women, obviously we have our you know, our periods. Everything. We're gonna be moody at some point.
Yeah,
but if a man met you because, you know, I don't know, you had amazing sexual chemistry as well as actual relationship.
Yes.
And then suddenly now, you know, the woman just never wants to. You know what I mean? Like so that I guess that can where a man would feel like, oh, like she's changed, or she's not doing the things that she was doing at the beginning.
Yeah. What would you say is, like, for example, what do you think is the best way to have that conversation? To be like, oh, babe, this is happening and now this isn't happening anymore. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Obviously, like, for me, I think the best time for that conversation is when you're already in a chilled out mood. Yeah. You got your favourite program on, I don't know, you got your favourite drink, whatever. You're already in a nice, calm setting.
Sure.
And then, obviously, especially if it's planning on your mind a lot, you don't want to let that fester, because this is when people start cheating.
Yeah.
So
very true.
You're better off just being like, oh, you know, like, you can make it into a joke, but make sure that the person that's understood you're being serious. You don't want to be harsh and be like, you've got fat now. You know, you can't be like that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
But you can do it in a way where you're almost encouraging something positive from it. Like, do you want, you know, my support? Do you want my support with you on this? Do you know what I mean? Like, try and do it in a way where they feel like, oh, everyone's going to get upset, hear something they don't want to hear.
Yes.
But if there's like some sort of support with that, or, you know, say it's the thingy, do you want me to do gym with you? Do you want me to help with a gym thing? You know what I mean? Like, there's certain ways you can still support somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or, oh, you haven't, I don't know, like, worn anything, or no nice lingerie in a while. Like, is it because you're not into it anymore, or because, like, you don't, like, should we go and get some together? It's that, you know what I mean? You can still support somebody and by letting them know, like, little things. Yeah.
No, I agree. I think you can, and maybe this is kind of similar to what you found with your ex that you said. I think you can support them, but they have to have the drive to do it.
Yeah.
Like, they have to have the intention. You can take a horse to water, but you
true.
can't make it drink it, right? That's always a difficult thing. And the reason I ask is because I've spoken to a couple of guys, like, over years where they were they got into a relationship with a girl and she did put on weight, for example, and he, like, maintained or even got more physically attractive. And because they didn't know how to have the conversation of the whole attraction thing, and, you know, they felt the chemistry wasn't there because they weren't looking after themselves, etc., they ended the relationship.
Wow. Yeah.
And sometimes I ask, like, as a woman, would you rather, because it's a very sensitive topic for a woman.
Yeah, of course.
And I think sometimes guys can think, I understand, they think, well, it's not my job to tell you what size you should be at or whatever, but then at the same time, if it's shifted and that attraction is not there, but you want this relationship to work, guys don't know what choice to make. Is it best to leave you, be like, cool, you're being you're a changed person, happy for you, but this isn't for me. But then she could be left devastated because she's like, why did, thing is that, and guys will never say.
Yeah.
They will never, they're like, if he ends it, he will never say it's because of X. Right?
Yeah.
Because thing is, even if he does tell her the truth, which maybe long term would help her, he's always going to seem like the arsehole, be like, he left her because she put on a bit of weight. What an arsehole.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the same as like, guys accept this reality. It's the same as like, oh, well, she left because I wasn't on my grind. Do you know what I mean? So I guess, I know you don't speak for all women, but what would you prefer?
To be told.
You'd rather be told?
Yeah. Because I think how us women, we get upset if a man changes. It might not be physically, but if a man, you know,
It's not as ambitious or he loses his job or something. Yeah.
So we can't then, and we're very quick to say something.
You said it, not me.
So
You said it, not me.
we can't then expect the man not to say when he feels something has changed.
Yeah.
Because we're very quick to be like, you ain't bringing in the money, you ain't da-da-da. So why can't a man be like, you know, I was more attracted to you when you were smaller or bigger, it could be either or.
Yeah.
You know, like, how do you feel me telling you this? Otherwise it's us saying all the things that we want and then them cheating or leaving because they didn't feel they could do the same.
Yeah, it's true. That's
Nice.
The reason is, I completely agree with you. I just think that for a guy, like, it's just a lose. It just sounds like a lose-lose. Because, okay, imagine this. He's in a relationship, goes, look, babe, like, I love you, I care about you, but you've kind of let yourself go a bit. And if you notice, we've not been intimate for a couple of months, for a few months. And it's because, I'll be honest, I'm just not that attracted to you. Right? Which is so hard to say.
Yeah.
Right? If she then goes tells her girlfriends, he is immediately a dick, 100%. He basically told me that I put away, he's not attracted to me, and her girlfriend's gonna be like, "What a?" And it's like, for him, he's just thinking, I'd rather be the good guy who left, than the bad guy who stayed.
Okay, yeah.
I'd rather leave, but be the good guy, like, oh, that's the good guy who got away, than stay to make the relationship work. But I'm now seen as the bad guy, and I think this is a choice that men often feel like they have to choose.
So in that case, then, why don't men feel? I mean, it's not a to and from thing, but why do men feel like they can't use women's ways as an example in these situations? So, like, oh, it's not a tit for tat thing, but like, oh, remember that time when you said, you know, you don't like the fact that I'm now not doing this job now, or you don't like the fact that I'm not bringing in the money now. At the moment, like, for my feelings, this is how I'm feeling about
X, Y, and Z.
Because that way, the women can still be upset, but it's like, oh yeah, no, like, I have said my thing about where I want you to change. Technically, you are very much entitled to say how you want me to change. Men seem to, maybe because women be like, don't be bringing up that, but I think if men did that more, it would make women think a bit more.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. And I would also say he should be like, well, if she said something, you can say, hey, but on this, you told me this, and because I care about the relationship, I invested in this area for us. So now I'm telling you this. What if he's always been consistent? So she's never had that conversation. She's never had to be like, oh, we used to do this and now you don't. What if he's like, he's been consistent, maybe even, you know, if he's working on himself, if he's purpose driven, you know, elements of his life, he's improved. But that's that one element where she's maybe started to slack a little bit. What would you think was the best?
I don't think it's worth ending the relationship over. The guy's going to get stick either way. To me, I think
he's going to get stick. It's a lose-lose, guys. There's nothing you can do. Be the good guy who leaves.
and the woman's never had to be saying anything like the guy's always done the same thing. Never always kept balance.
Yeah.
I think that's a lose-lose. If you tell the truth, she's going to be sad. If you lie, she's going to be sad.
So what you're saying, Kay, is that as guys, we should never try to make women happy because we can't.
No, exactly. You're 100%. I don't
guys,
think
it's a losing battle, boy. Just let it go.
I don't think that men can be consistent the whole time, just like we can't as women either. So I think their situation of a man not having an example of where a woman said something, I think it's very, very rare. I don't think there's many times where a guy has been the same kind of consistency for years and years and years and years and years. Maybe with a job, but there's going to be some things where it's gone a bit.
You know what, Kay? I'm going to disagree with you.
Really?
Because I think that it happens a lot where guys have been consistent, but what she wants changed. Because that's what happened to you.
Oh, yeah, true. That is true. Yeah.
And so actually, being consistent is actually something that I think guys not all guys, but I think in a relationship that they're more prone to do. But what happens is what she wants changes. And she's like, you're not the guy that I now want. And so guys are like, but what do you mean? I've been consistent from and this is why, and guys have to let this go. This is why a lot of guys can become resentful, because they're like, I've been doing X, Y, and Z from day one. And now you're asking for something from me that I didn't have to do. And now I'm the bad guy because I'm not rising to that expectation. But I've never had to do that. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it happens more where what she wants changes.
100%.
Does that make sense?
I actually do agree with you on this.
Yeah.
So I'm fully agreeing with the man. But
I'm just being honest.
But at the same time, obviously, yeah, the guy also needs to appreciate, especially, for example, I'm not saying this in the boss here, but myself, I've always maintained a certain image, a certain thingy.
Yes.
So you've never had to come at me in a way of, oh yeah, like you're not looking after yourself. Like, I always have done. So I've been consistent in my thing as well. Do you know what I mean?
No,
like,
that's fair. Yeah, 100%.
You know, men will be quick to be the victim and being like, oh, blah, blah, blah. But it's just like, but you've always had me in nice lingerie, looking good. Blah, blah, blah. You've always had these things. You've never had to. Do you know, it's hard to. Do you see how I get that little bit?
If you've been consistent, sure. But I think in your specific situation, though, sure, you were consistent, but he still, the person that you were when you met him was still the person he wanted when you ended things.
Yeah.
Right? It'd be different if his things changed. So you've been consistent, but now he's like, no, babe, but now I want you to look like this. And now you're not doing it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I completely hear that. I think it's a... Okay, you know how you said about being with that kind of provider, masculine guy, etc. This is always a hot topic, right? And I just want to ask what you think. Not all the time, but it's more common than people realize, where if you're with that guy who can provide this kind of, he can cover everything, etc., etc., it happens more often than not where he will not be physically exclusive. But it's expected for you to be physically exclusive.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not very fair.
Well, I guess the argument is that, well, he's doing all of this stuff for the relationship that you're not doing, which isn't equal. It's not fair, right?
Yeah.
But it's like you said about doing these different things. So, and like I said, it's not every guy, but it happens more than people like to admit. Is that something you would entertain?
No.
I knew she was going to say that. I knew she was going to say no. They all say no.
Yeah, no.
A few will do it though.
Yeah, I imagine there's probably a lot of women, to be fair, that their lifestyle's all sorted.
They never say it publicly, but they do it. They know.
But for me, again, maybe because I haven't had that yet. Maybe this is why I'm like, no. Maybe if I've had that and a man's like really been a provider and I've had everything, and I know that he's with somebody else, but my life's still good. Maybe if I've experienced that, my answer would be different.
That's true. That's fair.
You know, I think that's fair. But where I haven't, obviously I'm going to be like, no.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. What's last thing you want to ask or bring to the conversation? Anything on your mind?
What has happened to men?
What has happened to men? Period. They are trash today.
No, it's a serious I guess. I think definitely when it comes to dating in general now, people don't go out as much, or as you get older, it's harder to get childcare.
Sure.
And things like that. So people aren't. It's not like the old days when you go out and you have a dance with somebody, or do you know what I mean? Like, it's very hard to meet people nowadays, unless you're really going out your way to bars or wherever.
Yeah.
Why do men not really know what they want these days?
What do you mean?
Like, you know, they're going on dating apps or taking themselves out to be around people or whatever and meet people.
Yeah.
But the vibe that I'm getting recently is that they don't really know what they want. Women, we kind of know if we just want fun, we want a relationship. Why do men always feel there's some sort of like blur with that where they think, or you're thinking, oh yeah, they do want a relationship. Or actually, no, they don't. Or they don't even know half the time if they want a relationship or not. Why is that?
I'll be honest with you. They know it's only a blur to you. Because, okay, you know how you're like, I'm sure a lot of women would be like, look, if you just want casual, that's fine. Just tell me up front. So I know.
Yeah.
If guys telling you up front worked, they would tell you. But it doesn't. That's why they don't. I'm not saying it's okay. Yeah.
Because some girls are cool with it. Some girls want casual. And if a guy says that and then she's like, brilliant, cool. But then for the girls that don't want that, it's like a grey area. You're a bit like...
Yeah, so most guys assume if a girl's dating, she doesn't want something casual. Because guys know that as a girl, especially if you're an attractive woman, you don't need to date to have something casual. You can just message a guy and be like, cool, you're going to be my needs met for the next 2-3 months, whatever. So they always assume like if a girl's open to dating guys, just because she's more likely looking for something serious. Now, as a guy, he doesn't know if he wants something serious or casual with a girl until he starts dating her. Sometimes he can look at a girl and be like, cool, I know she's just relationship material, so unless I'm ready, I'm not going to pursue that. Some girls he meets is like, this is just casual. But there's some girls where it's like, it could go either way and he doesn't know because he wants to see how she moves. Yeah. Right? She wants to see what kind of woman she is, you know, what kind of value she has, how she moves, how she is with him, right? Which obviously is like dating for a month, 2 months, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's only a blur to you.
Yeah.
Because
they're still figuring it out.
Yeah. No, because they more often than not, like guys know. Like they'll know, or it'll come to a point where they go, I know this is serious, I could have something serious, or I know this is casual. I think what happens, especially if you've been dating, is that once he's come to that conclusion in himself, whether this is the kind of person he's going to choose, if he's decided, okay, this is just casual, he doesn't tell her.
And then obviously the women are left thinking, oh,
what's
he's still
going
in a
on?
relationship. Or what's going on? Yeah,
Yeah.
One of the two.
Yeah, like just like, oh, what's going on? Maybe you feel a shift in him, right? Like maybe he stops doing certain things. He stops investing. Yeah. Right? He stops actually investing in, like, you know, spending time together, being considerate, going on dates. But yeah, it's usually that he knows he's not going to disclose if it's just a casual thing. Yeah. Because ultimately, if we know that men are looking for sex, he knows, okay, well, if there's a 90% chance, right, that if I tell her it's just something casual, I'm not gonna get any kind of connection with her or whatever. Guys they won't say it's not casual, but they won't outright say that it is. And that's the blur. Yeah. That's the gray area. Like, okay, so he doesn't want something serious, but he said it's not casual, so I'm confused. It's fully intentional. Yeah. It's fully intentional. Because they know if they go, it's just this, and it's wrong. But this is why, as a woman, it's up to you to recognize whether he is actually seriously investing in you, or if he's just giving you that casual attention. Because once you can recognize the difference between sexual attention and romantic intention, it becomes very clear what he sees with you.
100%.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I prefer it when a guy is honest. Even though I do end up blocking them, but
thank you for being honest. You're now dead to me.
But I still would prefer that. Do you know what I mean? I know that they wouldn't, but
yeah, no, of course, I get that, but that's
yeah,
why.
No,
that's
and now
why,
I get why they don't.
Yeah,
they get blocked.
Well, exactly. Yeah,
because
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kaye, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you.
Thank you for having me on the show. It's been great, and
yeah,
an eye-opener for me on certain things as well. 100%.
Yeah, no, 100%. It was absolute pleasure. I'm glad we actually made it happen, which is great. So if people want to follow you and see what you're up to, where can they find you?
Yeah, so I'm K_D_official on Instagram. Nice. I've like loads of different TikTok accounts, so it'd be long, but just follow my Instagram and then I've got a link that gives you everything else.
Okay, perfect. Well, Kaye, thank you for sharing your energy with us today.
Oh, thank
we
you
appreciate
too.
you.
Thank you, Kit.
Guys, go give her a follow, give her a like, give her support, all that good stuff. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you in the next episode.